everyone, Alexa here from the blog theduvallhomestead.com, where I share farm-to-table recipes and homemade natural living. And today I'm going to show you an easy freezer meal prep for your baby. In making some food ahead of time for your baby, this recipe will be for you. I was never into food prepping before, mostly just because I like to think on the spot when I cook and go to the store and buy fresh ingredients and then just make something up right then and there. And then when we had our baby, I figured that she would just eat whatever we were eating, only chopped up really small. And that is true, and she does do that. However, the problem I'm running into is that she doesn't eat at the same time as us. And if you are a mom, which I'm assuming you are if you're watching this, you know that kids, when they get hungry, they're hungry and they don't know how to wait, especially a baby. I started buying food that I could give her really easily, like cold cuts or berries, things like that. And that's all fine and good, but I was kind of feeling like she was lacking really nutritious, from scratch prepared food like I normally make for my husband and I, because by the time I make it for us, she is either napping or sleeping, and so she just kind of misses the meal. So at the moment, I decided the best thing to do would be to prepare some food that we would normally prepare, only make it just for her, and then freeze it. So that's what I'm going to show you today. This recipe is a pumpkin carrot pasta sauce. It can be made for you as an adult. It's delicious. The hardest part about making this recipe is not eating it yourself. But I will say my baby loves it. So it's a very nutritious meal. It has pumpkin, carrot, onion, garlic, bone broth. So it's got vegetables, it's got a little bit of protein in there, and it's just so good. So what I like to do is I like to make up this pasta sauce, as I call it, and then I'm gonna make a pound of ground beef with it. I prepped this over a couple of days because I was working in the times that I could during the day. And then I froze it. And in order to freeze it properly, I ordered these little 4-ounce glass jars from Amazon. I'll link them below. And they are just perfect. They're the perfect size for this kind of thing. Previously, I was putting her frozen food in Ziploc bags, which I'm trying to do less of because, first of all, they're not good for the environment. Also, they cost money, so they can be reused. And then third, they're hard to reheat. So you have to kind of scrape the food out of them, and it's just a difficult process. So the glass jars are really easy because you can heat them up in the oven with the lid off, of course, because the lid is plastic, but the jars are glass. And so, or you can use a microwave if you have a microwave. So I am really excited that I finally have a lot of food prepped for my daughter Allison, who is 15 months old, because really what food prep does for you, at least for me at the moment, is it allows me to have so much more fun with my daughter during the day, so I don't have to be cooking, because she's eating dinner at about 5:30 and we eat dinner after that. And so from the time she wakes up from her nap until about 5:30 in the afternoon, evening, we're outside playing and we're having fun. And then as soon as that hunger hits, I'm ready to go with really nutritious food. I also try to sneak bone broth in whenever I can into her diet because we do homemade bone broth here. I have a tutorial and a recipe for homemade bone broth if you've never made it before. But it's very easy, especially if you are used to making it and you get it in your routine. Every week when we roast a chicken, I just throw it in there at the end in an Instant Pot, add filtered water and apple cider vinegar, and then any vegetable scraps we have, and you have a very nutritious bone broth. And so I also put that in any recipe that I make for Allison. So you can make this from a pumpkin from scratch, or you can use canned pumpkin. Either one will do. But I had a pumpkin that I needed to cook anyway, and I like to do a whole bunch of pumpkin at the beginning of the fall season, make it into puree, and then freeze it, and then pull it out and use it in anything I can, from soups to cookies to biscuits to pancakes and pasta sauce. So that's what I'm doing here. So there are a couple different ways that you can roast a squash. Both ways though involve cutting the squash and removing the seeds and then putting it in the oven. So I'm going to start with this pumpkin here. I'm just going to cut the stem off by cutting a circle or square around the stem. And the top just pops right off here. And you want to have a bowl nearby, of course, for all of the pumpkin seeds. Chickens love these, by the way, if you have chickens. Then I'm going to just cut this pumpkin in half. First time I started cooking with actual pumpkins and squashes, I was shocked at how much strength it took to cut them in half, but now I'm really used to it, so it does get easier somehow. And this is the only part I don't enjoy, is getting all this stuff out. Sometimes it takes a while, but again, it gets easier. And you should definitely save these pumpkin seeds for making roasted pumpkin seeds, which is a great, healthy, delicious snack, or salad topper, that kind of thing. Okay, so I got both of these done here, so I'm gonna go ahead and place them on a baking dish. Now there's two ways you can do this. You can skin this right now by peeling the skin off and then chopping the pumpkin up into cubes and then putting it on the baking dish and roasting it. And the benefit of doing it this way is I find that the flavor is better because you can salt it more and it's just more of a rustic roasted flavor. But if you don't have the time, like I don't today, I'm gonna just go this way. Once they're done, you'll see I'll just be able to scoop out the pumpkin. Now I'm going to use avocado oil, which is my oil of choice, but of course you could use olive oil, but the reason I'm doing avocado oil is because I'm roasting this at 400 degrees and you can't use olive oil above 375 degrees because of the smoke point. So I'm gonna use a brush and just rub these with avocado oil, keep them nice and hydrated. You want to roast these for 20 to 30 minutes. You'll kind of see they'll start to brown on top and they should be really soft to the touch. So now for the pumpkin, you have to peel the skin off. So I'm just going to start peeling. Luckily it comes off pretty easily with your fingers. And I can tell this is not as soft and tender as the butternut squash, and that's because, like I said earlier, we didn't chop it up. So I actually might not throw this back in the oven. I don't know. I'm gonna try to puree it just to see. So first heat a stainless steel stovetop pot over medium heat and add olive oil. Then you're going to saute about half an onion chopped and about a cup of chopped carrots, which is about 3 small to medium-sized carrots. Then chop up 4 cloves of garlic and prepare half a cup pumpkin puree, canned or homemade, and half a cup of bone broth. After the onions and carrots are cooked enough so the carrots are squishy, add the garlic and saute another 5 minutes. Next, turn the heat off and add the pumpkin puree and bone broth and stir. Use an immersion blender and blend everything together until a sauce forms. You may need to add more bone broth if it looks too thick or isn't coming together. Next, turn the heat to low and add 4 ounces of cream cheese, which is about half a container, half a cup Parmesan cheese shredded, 2 tablespoons heavy cream, half a teaspoon salt, pepper to taste, 2 tablespoons chopped sage, and half a teaspoon cinnamon. Turn the heat to low and add all of those ingredients and stir until a smooth, thick sauce comes together. Okay, I'm gonna give my baby a little taste test of the pumpkin sauce and see if she likes it. That's you in there, huh? Wanna bite? Okay, she loves it. I think she approves. Next I'm gonna cook up this grass-fed beef mixture. This is from a company called Force of Nature. It's 100% grass-fed beef, and they call it the Ancestral Blend because it has beef, liver, and beef heart in it. It looks like it is pastured in Texas. There's no antibiotics and no added hormones, of course. And it says it is regeneratively sourced, which means holistic regenerative grazing as planned, rotational grazing, leaving ground cover and allowing pastures 2 to 8 month rest periods. So basically what that means is the pasture has a lot of nutrients in it because it gets to rest and regenerate. So it should be very nutritious. So I'm gonna cook this up and then I will have it ready in the freezer for her whenever she's hungry, and I'll put the pumpkin sauce over the top. Making homemade baby food ensures that your baby is getting wholesome, nutritious, and whole ingredients. There are no preservatives because you're making all the ingredients yourself and you're freezing it. And you just cannot get better than that at the store. Not to mention the store-bought baby food that is organic and does appear high quality is expensive. It's like $3 or $4 for a pouch of something, and then some of it goes to waste. So I'm trying not to buy anything from the store. I really want our baby to eat the same food that we're eating. Now, this is not to say that occasionally you will just have snacks or a block of cheese or cold cuts, and I'm not saying I'm never going to do that, but I am saying that at least I'll be prepared now, maybe once a day or whenever I need to pull out something really nutritious and delicious for her. I like to give her meat first on her plate, and then vegetables, and then like a carb, because I know that she loves pasta and she'll eat a lot of pasta, but it will fill her up. And so I want to always offer her the meat first when she's really hungry. So I'll put this sauce on the ground beef and then she'll eat that first. Then I would give her a vegetable if she was doing a side vegetable with the meal, which in this case, we don't have that prepped. But then I will do the pasta afterward. Okay, I just finished putting all this in the freezer, and it occurred to me that I need to order another set of these glasses because they really filled up fast. So I actually intended today, and this is my nap time hour, so I'm supposed to be getting a lot of work done today, and I intended on making another sauce with butternut squash and doing another pound of meat, probably a lamb or a venison or bison or elk, something other than beef. And I don't have enough storage space to accommodate that in the freezer. So I'm gonna have to buy another set of the glasses. So stay tuned. If you're interested and you wanna find out the butternut squash recipe and how I will do that one, let me know in the comments below and I will post that too. All right, well, thanks so much for watching this video. I hope you got some inspiration to feed your toddler or baby some really nutritious, from scratch, homemade food that happens to be ready for you in an instant, which is just so luxurious. If you're brand new, please hit that subscribe button for more farm-to-table recipes and homemade natural living. Thanks so much for stopping by the Duvall Homestead.